Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Robillard. Today we're going to be talking about Kentucky academic standards. So let me give you a little bit of background. To locate, first off, Kentucky academic standards, you just type in Kentucky academic standards into your search engine, and the top hit will be Kentucky academic standards, Kentucky Department of Education. So you can click here or you can click into content standards. I'm going to go into the site though, because you might need to access this for other purposes. So this is the Kentucky Department of Education website. And you can see that there's lots of different links. If you later want to look for certification in Kentucky, it's all here. There's the new COVID-19 information for the state. So anything you need from the Kentucky Department of Education is right here. So if you scroll down to content standards, that's what you want. You will see that the Kentucky academic standards are here, and you can click on any of these. They're hard to read in that place. But if you click on it, you'll go into the larger version, and you will see each content area has their content standards. Now, each standard, when you go in, is going to look different, not just because it has different information, but because the actual format is different for different standards. The reason the format changes is because the standards for each content area are created by content area experts. So mathematicians create content area standards for math. Scientists create science standards for science, and so on. And so every group of experts has a different way of thinking about how standards should look. So I'm going to click on some different standards, and they may look very different from your content standards. So just go with it and learn your standards. It's okay. I'm flexible and can move around a little bit. If you're elementary, you will get to know different formats for the different content areas because you'll get to see all of them. Let's see, what do I want to say about academic standards? There is such a thing as national standards, which you might have heard. They're based on the Common Core. There are state standards, and they differ because not all states have adopted the Common Core, but many states use the Common Core as the basis for their content area standards. The purpose for content standards is to make sure everyone who is in a particular grade is approximately on the same level. So if you're teaching sixth grade math, for example, you want to make sure your students come in with approximately similar background information so that you can move forward from there. And you know where your students have been, and you know where your students are going. This makes your life a lot easier. There is also local control of standards. But if you're a public school district, you need to use the academic standards for your state. There is a little bit of control of how you teach them, though. So if you are in a school district and you're a science teacher, for example, your school district may look at the standards together and decide that certain standards are to be taught in a particular order. And it's called a curriculum map or a curriculum plan. And so in August, in your school district, all the science teachers may be teaching a specific standard. And then in September, they move to a different standard, and they go through the standards sequentially together. Now, you as a teacher have academic freedom so that you can teach that standard in whatever way you want to. But if your child moves to another school in the district, let's say they buy a new house or they move to a new apartment, then they won't repeat the same standard because you were teaching one thing first and another teacher was teaching that later in the year. So there's a curriculum map so everyone in the district moves along together. There's state standards, so from year to year, the students progress. And then there's national standards that are available for states to use. Okay, so that's a big overview. Now, when you click on any of these, it will open a new tab, and you can see I've already clicked on several of these. And the reason I did that early is because some of them are quite long. So let's look at English Language Arts. Now, English Language Arts standards are now called Reading and Writing Standards. And as you can see, when you click on the Reading and Writing Standards, you get 458-page document, which is why I clicked on it a little early to give it time. If I were you, I would download the standards if you need English Language Arts standards and save them on your desktop so you don't have to wait every single time. And you can scroll down through and look at the table of contents. And you can see there are overviews for the grade levels, and they're divided by grade, K through 5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12. And you can jump directly to those pages. Then there are grade level standards for literature, informational text, which would be nonfiction, composition, and language. One of the concerns that I have with Kentucky Academic Standards for English Language Arts is it's just focusing on reading and writing now. And they used to have separate speaking and listening standards, which now are kind of jumbled together under language. So there are much fewer speaking and listening standards than there used to be. So if you click on reading literature, let's just jump to 7th grade reading literature. You will see, let me move me, the reading standards for literature. So this is actually what the standard looks like. There's a reference number. RL stands for Reading Literature in 7th grade, so RL 7.1, and then the 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 in this case just gives you the order of the standard. So that's what that means. And in your lesson plan, if you decide to use one of these standards, then you will copy and paste the standard, including the number, the RL 0.7.7, and you will copy and paste that into your lesson plan. And that's how you find a content standard.